Hey guys, it's Jess, and I am sharing a brand new scrapbook layout with you today featuring a new digital cut file from scrapbook.com. This one is the December cut file, and there are a whole bunch of different cut files in this bundle where you can mix and match, use them individually, or use a few of them together. I decided to use the little dashboard style one. I've used a similar cut file to this in a previous video, and I'll have that linked up here in the top right corner in case you want to check that one out as well. But this one is all about December. So there's this dashboard file in there. There is also like a stacked word, there's just all kinds of stuff in here. It's really, really cool. And I like the versatility. Like I'm always saying with these cut files, you can use them for all kinds of stuff because you can resize them to whatever you need. In this case, I'm making a 12 by 12 scrapbook layout, and I'm using some Echo Park Christmas papers from scrapbook.com. This cut file cuts out the word December, as you can see here, attached to a rectangular panel. I actually went into my Design Space software in the Cricut application, and I used the contour function to remove the centers from the letters and create a second piece, that tan colored piece behind my letters. That is what I used to do that, just using that contour feature in Design Space. And I was able to create a perfect backer piece for my December wording. And that makes it easy so that I can glue these little inserts of the letters right on. Now this is totally optional. You can leave this out if you don't care about the insides of the letters. A lot of people don't mind it. Sometimes, depending on the feel of the layout, I will leave them out, but sometimes I just want them in. So I just kept the pieces, we call those negative pieces, from my die cut, and then just glued them right in here with my Lawn Fawn glue tube. Once I finished that, I started thinking about how I wanted to lay out this design. So I wanted to do a single photo layout this time, and I'm using a picture of my son when he was around 5 months old. I've been wanting to use this photo because I just thought he was so stinking cute, and it just makes me so happy. And he's got like the perfect little Christmas sweater on, and I mean, how could you resist? So I cut down some more of that Echo Park paper, and I'm going to use it to mat I'm going to mat it with the white piece. I think I always get that backwards. I'm going to mount it onto the white piece, which is the mat for the green piece. Anyway, once I get the scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive backers pulled off, I'm going to go ahead and plop that right on there just so it has that little bit of a white mat. I thought it looked nice, and it kind of broke up the background a little bit. I really, really liked the way that looked. Now, this Hello die cut that I am pulling up here is actually a Scrapbook.com exclusive with Pinkfresh Studio, and I had already die cut it. So it's a piece of vellum in the background and then black cardstock in the front, but I actually end up covering it up later, so you will see that here soon. And I did also use this like metallic silver linen cardstock from American Crafts to mat my photo. I just thought it needed a little something extra. I wanted to keep this layout more clean and simple than I normally do. So I wanted lots of layers, but not anything too crazy or overwhelming. I wanted the whole layout basically to just say Hello December. And then obviously it's got the little Christmas photo. This photo was actually taken in Colonial Williamsburg in Williamsburg, Virginia. And little Kieran could not even really sit up by himself yet, so he's kind of precariously propped up against this bench. He was starting to learn how to sit up, but he was still a little unbalanced. So directly to the right of this photo is actually my best friend, who was standing there with her arms ready to catch him at a moment's notice. And I just think that's so funny because you see these pictures, but you really don't know what was going on out of the frame, like other than what you can just see in the photo. It's really cute. Okay, so you can see here that I used that same like brown or tan colored paper to put the letters right on top of the black. I just thought there wasn't really any black in this layout aside from in his shirt, and it was just too bold for me to have it in the layout like that. So I decided to coordinate it, and I really like the way that it looks. It's a lot more subtle, but in person it doesn't hide in the background quite as much as I feel like it does when it's on the screen here. So I decided I wanted to add a little bit of oomph to the bottom because there was some extra space there that I felt was lacking. So I grabbed some gingham ribbon in black and white, along with some jute like twine cord, and I double wrapped this. I tied it into a bow, and I was able to like wrap it around the bottom and then tie a cute little bow onto it as well. So you can see there, I added a little fa la 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 banner sticker piece from one of the Echo Park collections. And then there you can see my bow I'm starting to work on. So what I like to do is put a little bit of adhesive on the back here like you see. That way I can line it up a little bit better. I'm not super great at figuring out where things are going to need to go, so I kind of have to just play it by ear, and I find that this method sort of works for me. Once I got it on there, I decided, like I said, to go ahead and add that jute cord as well, just to add a little bit more of a rustic feel to it. It didn't look so polished and neat. And then I'm using my trusty fork to tie my ribbon. Don't worry, I keep a fork designated and dedicated to my craft room at all times. It has never been, well, not never, but it hasn't been eaten on in quite some time, but I keep it specifically in my desk for tying bows for just such occasions as this. And if you're interested in learning how to tie a bow on a fork, I do have a video on that as well, and I will link to that up in the right hand corner now. If you are wanting to learn how to tie a bow like this, I would suggest learning with one piece of fabric first rather than trying to do two. This is actually the first time I've ever done two like this, and it was a little more challenging, so when you're first learning, I would definitely recommend only using one piece of ribbon. But you can see here that the bow is super duper cute. I love how it turned out, and I just went ahead and attached that to the ribbon that I had already put onto my layout. So I'm going ahead and flipping over that Hello die cut and adding it to my layout up at the top. I decided to overlap it with the photo a little bit, and I forgot to mention earlier that I did actually use some Nuvo Midas Touch shimmer pen on the die cut so that it's nice and shimmery. It really packs a punch in the light. You can't see it so much head on, but in person it's really pretty. I'm also using some of these Chipboard Accents, also from Echo Park, and I thought they were a really cute addition. They went nicely with the whimsical sort of fa la 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 la, and I thought it was really nice with like the background script, and then the more, not necessarily blocky, but bubble sort of letter of the December. It was just nice to tie that all together. So I'm just adding some little bits and bobbles here and there and figuring out where I want all of my accents to go. And then once I figured that out, I did go ahead and adhere everything to my layout. I did end up needing to add a few pieces of foam to the back of these, and I'm so sorry that I am out of frame here. I guess I didn't realize that it was down so far, but I did add a few little pieces of foam to those just so that, because it was going over top of the ribbon and it wasn't quite laying flat, and I didn't want the chipboard accent to bend in order to be adhered. So just a little bit of foam rounds. These are the Scrapbook.com exclusive. They are double-sided adhesive foam, and they are the small round style. If you're interested in anything I'm using, I'll have everything linked below for you in case you want to check it out. But then I'm just going to go ahead and attach this to my background. Now, if I were going to do this again, I feel like I'm always saying this because I always learn something when I'm creating these layouts. But if I had this to do over again, I would wait to attach this part to my layout until after I did my black splatter. As per usual, I got a little splatter happy and I ruined my photo again. I did this with my last layout also, and I was scrambling to try to find it. Luckily, this one I did have a duplicate of, but man, I gotta stop doing that. So in order to get my black splatter, I used the Dylusions black marble spray. And you can see here that when I go to move it, I was doing the bottom, and see I left his sweet little face uncovered, and bloop, right there on his face. And I tried to get it off and it just didn't happen. So lesson learned, put the splatter on first or completely cover the photo. All right, you guys, that finishes the layout for today. Here is a look at the finished project. I hope you love it. If you did, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in another video really soon.